Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings as they take on a man back for a 16th NFL season, Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And thank you, Coach. We are across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Still 0-0 here in quarter one, but an early test to check in on as we've got a third down situation looming. Cousins from the gun on third. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown Vikings. Adam Thielen. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it's polished off by a Vikings score. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So now here are the Giants as they'll get their first opportunity here. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback, a multiple-time Pro Bowler. It's, of course, Eli Manning.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
Throwing on first down is Manning. He fights him off, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. There for the sack, Everson Griffin. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. Faking the give to Barkley. Now Manning. He's airing it out for Williams. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. We know this offense, they're built around passing the football. That time, the running game didn't suit them so well.
Not so well, but they have to do it every so often. You have to be able to control the pass rush a little bit, make them somewhat hesitant before they come and get your quarterback. At least have the illusion that you have a running game. I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
On 2nd and goal, Cousins. And that's incomplete. Janoris Jenkins with good coverage that time as he was able to get in there and knock it away. And that's twice now already in this first quarter that he's been able to knock a ball away.
They're going to need that from him and plenty more if they want to slow down this passing game. Thus far, though, he's been...
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they'll throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Red Allison, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, you got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
That time on the outside, pretty nice job as a cornerback to shed any would-be blockers and make the tackle.
And think about the praise we're giving him, what his coaches are giving, but how about the respect he gets from his teammates to be a complete corner who doesn't just cover receivers, but also tackles ball carriers.
And they'll get him down 2 yards shy after a pickup of 8, 4th and 2.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. Fielded just inside the 20. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. A reminder about Sunday Night Football later tonight. It's a rematch from the divisional round last year. Colts and Chiefs from Arrowhead. Then tomorrow on Monday night, the Browns and 49ers from Levi's Stadium. For the Browns already playing their 3rd primetime game in the season's first 5 weeks. Defensively, they were in the 3-4. Solid run up the middle. What made it successful?
Well, what you have to do is control the nose guard, but sometimes you don't do it by blocking him. You do it by influencing him. Get him moving to one side or the other and hit him back on the opposite.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
Coverage was very good that time. A nice job to smother him as the ball arrived, and that ensured an incomplete pass.
And it keeps 6 points off the board. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Open man is Treadwell, and he's got it for the Minnesota touchdown. Laquan Treadwell, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Bailey got the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. A good pickup there, 21 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Manning. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Offense.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block, it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
Now Manning throwing on 2nd down. Throw right side, complete to Williams. Williams loses the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And time to spotlight Golden Tate. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well. And they're really excited he has no catches, but they're also worried. Because a lot of times, that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. It's a first down on a gain of 10. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender and the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, sometimes a thing of beauty.
Holding offense.
So a holding penalty, and that'll send him backwards.
You know they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
After the penalty, they go with Barkley. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Vision is so important for the man in the middle because his ability to look through all the clutter that's happening in front of him, diagnose a play, and then go make it and finish it, that's when the great ones know that they have the goods. Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
To throw is Manning. He's got a man. It's Williams. He is putting on a show in this second quarter, racking up the receiving yards as he has a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Manning now to throw. To Shepard, complete over the middle. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. The Giants on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Shotgun now for Manning. And he's got it. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Goal line offense, something they've really been emphasizing in practice lately. Now they have a chance here to put all that hard work to use. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra. Tate bringing it in for the Giant touchdown. Golden Tate, his second touchdown on the season. And the Giants are able to draw a bit closer. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started. At the end of last season, right? All the offseason preparation, the weight workouts, the sprints, right? The vision that he had, what he was going to do this season. And, of course, it all came together with the rest of the team. Those big fellas up front, leverage, and, boy, are they getting downfield and creating extra blocks for him.
They really are. Everyone's been doing their job so far to create those holes. Cousins now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%. And it's 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. And the Giant rush gets home as down he goes. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins, he'll find Thielen work in the middle. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. The Vikings on third down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. To throw, Cousins. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Final play of the half. Cousins. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. New York set to take the field.
I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minutes. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Fresh out of the locker room, they hit him with a gain of over 20. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Manning going to hand it off to Barkley. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes. Well, they still have time to get them established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's third down.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shake their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
I feel like Eli Manning has just gone from downfield bomber to a guy who can complete everything.
He can hit him underneath there.
Yeah, we just saw that there with that pass completion.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. And Cook has it, left side. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon. So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right, you look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. A throw over the middle, taken in. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. Now Cousins. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make it a second down. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Here's Cousins. Going deep for Diggs. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Fourth down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Throwing, Cousins. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 25 yards that time.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Well, it certainly appears that the big guys up front have taken charge of the line of scrimmage. 2 really nice plays back-to-back. But on the defensive side of the ball, there shouldn't be any despair. Okay, they've got us a couple of times here. Hang in there, keep your composure, and try and figure it out for the next play.
On the carry, it's Cook. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. B.J. Goodson there on the tackle.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Off the play fake, Cousins. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. So they get the takeaway, but that's just step 1. They still have a lot of work to do.
But they don't want to focus on that now. Now it's about getting the ball in the end zone and hoping they can take it away again.
Yeah, still a 3-score game, though, 4th quarter. And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on fourth down.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
That's complete left side to Shepard. 10 yards, good for a Giant first down. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. Throwing now is Manning. Incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. He was looking for Terrence Williams that time, and it's third down.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard about it.
Williams loses the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And to the 43, so down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line, that's where they'll take over.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. A throw left side to start the drive is complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, second and 2. Facing a second and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Cousins. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. Tried to go back again to Adam Thielen, and it's third and short.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Now, he's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. The defense stiffens to force fourth down following that first down gain of 8. Cousins to throw it. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on fourth. And the Giants are going to get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
Probably wishing that they could have had a few runs like that earlier in the game, now facing this deficit in the fourth.
Hard to criticize a run of that magnitude.
And he's hit and taken down. Eli sacked. Everson Griffin on the sack, taken to the fourth round back in 2010. What a steal. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. Second and 19. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a man open down the middle of the field. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Throwing is Manning.
One thing I can say pretty safely.
That's caught inside the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Into the red zone now. Manning. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Manning.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. The fake field goal catches everyone by surprise. And the Giants are able to cut into this lead.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Rosas good with the extra point. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The left side caught by Diggs. And finally out of bounds all the way down at about the 2. Cousins finding Diggs on a big one. 47 yards. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. Cousins here to throw toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Now Cousins, and that'll be caught by Diggs for a Minnesota touchdown. Stephon Diggs, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Manning to Barkley on the draw play. And an alley to run. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And really, it looked at times like they just had this one in cruise control out there.
Yeah, they deserve a ton of credit because you and I both know, heck, they knew. This is a tough place to play. Overcame that with ease. Romped home with an easy win. And here's the best part for them. It'd be easy to get to the airport because the crowd left pretty early in this one, didn't it?